There's a palm tree that is in between Indiana Jones and the Jungle Cruise. It's called the Dominguez Palm. Everything's old and historical and has a story.
It's a tree. It's gonna die.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think a tree is gonna die?
I mean,
ever?
eventually, but I think that they nurture it to be there forever.
You're Looney Tunes.
No, I'm serious. There's lots of things like that.
Hey there, and welcome to Kalm Down. I'm your host, Morgan Smith, and this is your weekly reminder to chill out and take a breath. Here we'll chat about how to unplug from the madness, mastering the fine art of doing absolutely nothing, and of course, how Kava can be your new best friend when you need to take the edge off. So grab a comfy seat, pour yourself some Kava, and let's calm those nerves one shot at a time. Let's get started. I'm joined today by Lindsay Aston, a close family friend I've known for over a decade, to join me here on the podcast to find out what she does to unwind. Lindsay, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me. I'm so excited.
How stressed and nervous or anxious are you? Scale of 1 to 10 right now.
Actually, super excited, but a little nervous just because this is a first for me, but I'm also super intrigued with it. So I would say 6.
A 6.
Maybe
Okay.
7.
A 7.
Okay.
Why?
Just because I know you're going to want me to drink that.
Okay. All right.
No,
so Kava.
it's fine. It's good. It's good.
It's the Kava that makes you nervous, not the lights and microphones.
No,
and
not so much the lights and the microphone. I think the unknown questions. So I got to dig deep to get some good answers.
Okay. All right. Well, don't be too nervous.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll measure how nervous you are as we go through this. Okay.
Sounds great.
Because I always feel like the unknown is like the scariest part of life, right?
Also exciting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, icebreaker question for you, Lindsay.
Okay.
If you could ban one thing from the world, what would it be? Alarm clocks, long lines, or group texts?
Ooh. Probably long lines.
Long lines.
I don't mind alarm clocks or group texts.
You know the irony here, right?
No.
Look, for those of you who don't know, Lindsay is a Disney freak. She is an
we're going
avid
there.
Disneyland person.
Yes.
Which every time I've been to Disneyland, I've hated my life just because the lines are like 8,000 hours long.
Sometimes, yes.
Or is that why you don't like the long lines, because you want to be able to go there and enjoy it more?
Yes, and also you can do more if they are shorter. But if you're with friends and you're in a long line, it's okay because you have something to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Now, did you say the long lines thing specifically about Disney or about just in general? Right?
In general, because I don't mind the other two so much. I think long lines is more annoying.
Okay. When you're in a long line and you're at the grocery store, are you one of those types of people that will talk to the people next to you?
No. And I also don't like the grocery store. So can I change it to banning going to the grocery store?
Yeah, you can do that. That's totally fine. All
right.
right.
I don't talk to people online.
Okay. Very different from your husband. We've been friends now, Lindsay, for well over a decade, 15, I don't know, 10, 15 years, something like that,
Yes.
long time. And your husband and I drink Kava often.
Correct.
And I've traveled with him even, and everywhere,
He's a lucky duck.
everywhere he goes, he will talk to anyone.
True.
So you are not that way.
I do like talking to people, but he definitely beats me as far as talking to strangers.
Okay.
For sure.
So strangers, you still got stranger danger.
Okay, that was probably not the right word. Maybe
why is that not the right word?
People we don't know.
So strangers.
Sure.
Okay.
But not danger.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You're fine with danger.
No, I'm
Good to
saying
know.
not stranger danger, just people you don't know that are strangers.
Got it. Okay. Well, this podcast is about kind of chilling and finding out what makes people get through the day, right? So for me, I own Calm with Kava, and I like to drink Kava very often, maybe 5 times a week or something like that, because it really helps you kind of wind down and take the edge off the day. So what do you do for your kind of baseline, every day, this is what I do?
Yeah. So I think it evolves over time. I think when you're younger, you may do something a little bit different. And as you get older, it changes into something else. Example would be I never watched YouTube ever.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't. I do love watching TV, and I think TV can be decompressing if you're in a good show. But since COVID, I feel like there's zero good shows on right now. So that's kind of gone wayside. So I started watching YouTube videos at night. And I think that's what decompresses me from the day, which is kind of crazy.
What kind of YouTube videos?
Well,
Because I do the same thing, by the way. I used to watch Netflix all the time. I used to watch Hulu and all these things. But for some reason, I haven't been able to find something, especially like you're saying, lately that like kind of matches the, you know what it is? At least for me, I feel like I need something that's going to be engaging and real, like genuine. Like I don't want any scripted garbage. I just want to like learn about other people. I love travel vlogs a lot. I love like comedy shows. What do you watch on YouTube?
So mine is an array of things.
Okay.
Obviously Disney. I do watch a lot of Disney YouTube videos. People, different going to Disney, getting news updates, whatever. But travel, same thing. I've watched cruise, news, those kinds of things.
Cruise?
Cruise.
What do you mean cruise?
Like going on a cruise, like...
Oh, like a ship.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
for some
cruise
reason
news.
Okay.
But then I also watch, I love paranormal stuff. So which you know this.
Yeah.
I watch weird, like the top scary TikTok videos or things like that they've compiled into one video. But it can also go into like, I don't know, cow hoof trimming, which your wife knows.
I've been into that.
Why do I like this? It's like peeling a potato. I don't know. It's satisfying. They're cleaning something up. It's a cleanup. And I don't know. It's weird, but then, so it spirals into other things too. I don't know.
So Daniel Tosh's podcast, he introduces the podcast every time with a question. And the question is, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was pretty quick.
I don't know how you can't really. But I know some people don't believe in any of that stuff.
It's pretty easy to say like, oh, well, it's in your mind or or that person is a little bit nutso, right? If you've never experienced it yourself, you would have no, reason to believe in it, right?
That's true. I guess you're kind of basing it off of what you're seeing and what you've been told.
Do you believe in ghosts based off of like lived experience?
I've definitely had weird things happen, but I've also had like my dad tell me a story once, and my dad is the most straight as an arrow, legit, doesn't...
Like he's not messing around.
No. And so like when he told me this, I was like, okay, that's real. That really happened to him. But I haven't had anything like groundbreaking happen to me, just weird little things.
Yeah.
But people say they do, but I think it's the source.
Okay. All right.
But it's also kind of exciting and fun. Like I would go on a ghost hunt.
So
you want to go?
I would love to.
Okay.
I went to Scotland last year with my family.
Must be nice.
And it was really cool. And like the number one destination that my wife Alexa wanted to go to was Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh, which is like known as one of the most haunted places on the planet. So the first night we were there at like 10 p.m. at night, we took, our 12-year-old daughter and our 9-year-old son at night while it was raining and dark to Greyfriars.
That's the best.
I don't know if we're good parents for doing that.
No, that's awesome. That's great.
So I'm totally into that. But it is interesting that you, like, in order to wind down at the end of the day, you're like, I'm going to watch some freaky stuff on YouTube about paranormal experiences.
It depends on the day because it is pitch black, and it's usually when I'm trying to go to sleep. And then if a kid walks into the room and it's pitch black, then I'm a little freaked out.
Yeah.
But I like it. I don't know. It's just...
No judgment zone.
It's decompressing your brain for the day.
Yeah.
So watching something else that you're not...
Something that's like completely unrelated to what you deal with every day. We're going to get into that. But first, would you like a shell of Kava?
Sure.
It doesn't sound like you would like to, but
I'm doing this for you.
okay. All right. Now, before we get into this, right?
Yes.
So I've been drinking kava for well over a decade. I drink it, like I said, 4 or 5 nights out of the week. I really like how it makes me feel and helps me chill out, right? It just helps you mellow out, and it's a great experience personally, right? It's going to make your tongue a little bit tingly.
So I've heard.
Yes, and it will. It's not just your tongue, but also a little bit of your throat and your mouth, right? And that's the principal component of kava is called kavain. If you think of Novocaine, like you're going to the dentist and Novocaine numbs your mouth, kavain is kind of a similar thing. Where that's where that's coming from, and it's also the primary psychoactive compound that helps people feel the effects of euphoria. Is really what they call it. So don't get too nervous about it. Now, you have been watching your husband Mike drink kava with me for a long time now.
Yes.
As an outside observer.
Is he your number one client?
Almost, number
right?
one leech.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Number
that makes
one
sense.
kava parasite. Yeah.
Yeah, that does. I get it.
He's gotten a lot of free kava over the years, but I'm not complaining because I've got someone to hang out with. So that's
and he
nice.
also is your number one promoter.
That's true.
So
it's good. It goes both ways. I'm not complaining. So as an outside observer, why do you think Mike drinks kava, first off?
Okay.
And secondly, what do you think it does for him?
Okay. Well, it's interesting because I feel like you two are different in your, I don't want to say personalities, but like he is triple ADD and you're more chill like I am.
Ironically, I was diagnosed with ADD when I was like 12 and I was on Ritalin and Adderall throughout my childhood. And so I still have those tendencies, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, you're not like...
Your husband is amped up.
Yeah,
he's
legit.
A different level of cocaine.
Yeah, so I have to be the opposite of that to balance it out. But I think for him, because he can't shut off his brain and he's constantly on to the next step, that it helps him, A, to probably sleep at night too, and B, just to kind of chill because he runs a successful business. And I think that pressure on him he puts it on himself because he is like we said, triple ADD. And I think that it definitely helps him just calm out, chill, relax a little bit because his brain doesn't stop. It's always moving where I can just stop.
Yeah.
And so, and
you're
then,
lucky.
Yeah, but also I'm like, do I want to? Like there's moments where I'm like, I kind of wish I could just keep going. But I think it's the sleep thing. His parents always had really bad sleeping patterns too. And I think it's fallen on him. So for him to have something to just kind of, I don't want to say take the edge off because that sounds like you're, but like just to kind of chill.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely a lot of those thoughts that just keep racing and they also don't stop.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to have my head hit the pillow and not really be thinking about everything that's going on.
Right.
Right. Everyone has so many things going on in their lives. Like the last thing we need to do is to be thinking about them while we're trying to sleep. It's like so stupid.
Or to like separate work and like home and like be like, okay, even though if you may work from home, that's hard, but like just to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to put that away. I'm just going to chill. We're going to watch a movie, whatever, go ride bikes, go for a walk, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's try some.
Okay.
All right. So I have,
this is being documented.
Yeah. Which I'm so stoked about this. Okay. So I made for you today, I made this at home and I brought it here. I made some of our poni ono, and poni ono, it comes from an island called Ewa in the nation of Tonga. And it's known for being one of the more mellow tasting kavas. So I specifically thought of you because I thought, okay, well, she's never had kava before. She's nervous about the taste. Well, this is the kava that I would recommend for people who are concerned about the flavor of kava.
Is it chocolate flavored?
It is not. It looks like chocolate milk, but it is not.
Yes. We call it the dirt drink in our house. So
Yeah,
because it literally is, but that's okay.
it's it's a root, so it's not
Yes.
dirt, but I understand what you're saying
Yes.
here. And it is also known, like if you go drink kava with a bunch of Tongans, they will typically drink it together in a big group setting with a lot of people, and they'll drink for hours and hours and hours. And so this is a really good social kava. So that's also why I thought this is a good one for today, because you don't really have an issue with going to sleep. You don't really have an issue with kind of like any of those reasons where Mike or I drink kava. You might want to drink kava just because you're hanging out with your friends. So that's why I thought this one might be a good fit for you. So we're going to be drinking some Poniono. And this is, ironically, this is in a Samoan kava bowl here. So Tongan kava and a Samoan bowl here. But also, I don't normally mix it up with a mug, but
What do you normally use?
I use like a measuring cup or a ladle, you know?
That's what Mike does too.
Yeah.
He has his own specific one.
His own specific ladle or cup?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always have to mix up kava after you've prepared it, because all of the active kind of kava lactones are sinking down to the bottom. They live in the starches that are in kava. So you always mix it up first, and then you pour yourself maybe like a half cup or 3/4 of a cup shell. So we don't have to have a lot of kava today, but you know.
Yeah, because I got to drive home.
Yeah. That'll be for you. All right, I'll do a little bit more that way. That way we're more even. There we go.
Oh my.
Okay, now hold on. Before we do this, actually, I should have prepped you. So here's how I do it. First off, I have some water for you.
Thank you.
You're going to want to drink it really quickly because kava doesn't taste good, and you just want to shoot it. You just want to chug it as fast as you can. I also brought some chocolates. So here's the deal. Let's unwrap a chocolate together.
Okay.
Do you like chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good because I didn't ask before, and maybe I should have. I don't know.
I mean, do you know us? You do. We like all.
Ladies tend to like the chocolate.
Okay.
So we've got our chocolate.
Okay.
Do you like how I'm really building this up?
Yeah, now I'm getting nervous.
No, don't get nervous. This is just the way how I do it, right? Okay, now the second thing that you're going to want to do is you've got a bottle of water, right?
Okay.
I got you some water. So here's how I do it. I always will breathe all the way out. I'll chug it. I'll drink some water, have some chocolate, and then start breathing again. For some reason, it's the breath afterwards that makes the flavor like that much worse.
Okay, so you're going to drink chocolate water.
That's right. Okay. Look,
Okay.
Now these are not hard and fast rules. This is just how I do it. You could just do it however you want.
All right.
But this is the way I do it. So anyways,
Okay.
cheers.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers. We got a cheers. All
Okay,
right.
cheers.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Ooh. Don't know if I can chug the whole thing.
That's okay.
Keep going.
You don't have to. This is a no pressure zone. Hey, you did pretty good. Have some water, have some chocolate.
Not as bad as I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Honestly. I was thinking it was going to be worse, to be real.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so people have a lot of like preconceived notions about it. Mm-hmm. And also I build it up
You did.
on purpose. Because if I don't, people are going to be like, oh, that was really terrible. But I've noticed every time I built it up being like, oh, this is going to be terrible. People always say that. They go, oh, that's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
You're right.
Okay, so first experience. Mm-hmm. Now I'll tell you as you're chewing that, interestingly enough, if you go to like Vanuatu, where Kava first started,
Let's go.
I would love to take you. Let's go. I'd be so down. They will take their shell of kava, and then they will spit at like the last sip of it. They'll just start spitting because it clears out the flavor of the kava in their mouth.
Okay.
Personally, I don't want to spit in my backyard.
Yeah.
So I just have a little bit of water and some chocolate. But normally people will, and they don't do that everywhere, right? That's just fun. I want to. I just find it really interesting because different cultures treat it very differently. So now that you have tried kava for the first time, what is your first like impressions of how it tastes?
Honestly, it tasted a little bit like water when you first drink it. And then, like you said, you can taste the taste as it goes down. My tongue is numb.
Right now?
Yeah. In my throat too. But I was thinking it was going to taste more like dirt. Maybe it's just because we've been calling it dirt for so long. Mm-hmm. But
it looks like it.
It does look like dirt water. It looks like muddy water. But it didn't taste like dirt. It tasted like a piece of wood. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I'm glad that you say that, though.
I thought it was just going to taste gross where you wanted to like spit it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not like that.
Right. So kava is in the pepper family.
That makes sense.
So it's almost got like a spicy undertone.
Yes. Overly spicy.
Overly spicy.
That's like you're eating a beef jerky that's super spicy, peppered.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So that's how that's the very first thing I always say. It's kind of like medicinal mud water,
yes.
Right? Because the pepper flavor kind of makes it into like something that's a little bit funky, but it's not dirt. It's like something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that not what I was expecting.
Okay. All right. Well,
and
cool.
I've smelt it and seen it for years.
Mm-hmm. Now, why have you never tried kava before, even though it's been readily available in your house?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't. Maybe I just thought it was going to taste gross because Mike's always said it's an acquired taste. It's like Red Bulls. I don't drink like energy drinks, although I wish I would because maybe it'd keep me awake. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like stick to what I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I've never tried it.
Okay. Well, we'll
I don't succumb to peer pressure, okay?
Good for you. Good for you. The DARE program really worked.
It did.
So we talked a little earlier about kind of what you and Mike are like together. What was your childhood like?
Oh, okay. We're going deep.
We're gonna go way back.
Okay. What do you like? What do you want to know?
Where were you raised?
Southern California.
And what was it like? Wait, you said Southern California?
Yeah.
Weren't you raised in Sacramento?
Well, so I was there. My parents got divorced, and then my dad ended up moving up to Northern California. And so I eventually ended up moving up there. It was like late junior high. So half and half. Went to college in Northern California. But childhood was great. I mean, even though my parents were divorced, they were friends and they made it really good for my brother and I. So it wasn't nasty.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Did any of that experience growing up really shape your obsession with all things Disney?
Yes, actually.
Have you already honed in on what it was that?
Well, because Mike always says to me, it's the same thing, nothing changes. And I'm okay. Like, I can do change, but I can also do the same thing over and over again. I don't know. That's weird. But it's not the same, and it is constantly changing. They are, like, if I'm going to quote Walt Disney here, if we're going to go down this road, he says that it will never be complete. Like, especially the park. It's not so much Disney. It's like Disneyland. I think growing up, going there as a kid, it was super fun and magical. And a lot of people say that the magic has been lost. But we've also raised our kids and brought them there, so they like it even as adults. which are bad. But also, everybody has something that they're into and that they love. And I mean, I love the beach too. So, and that's probably part of growing up. And we'd get a beach house every summer in Newport and stay there. And we do that with our kids. And I don't know. A lot of who you are as an adult is shaped from your childhood because that's good memories for you. And you want to share those with your kids too, or your family or your friends.
So did you go to Disneyland a lot as a kid?
I did, but it's not like we had like season passes or anything. We just, because we went to Knott's Berry Farm too a lot. And I used to love Knott's Berry Farm, but now I think Knott's Berry Farm is the worst.
Whoa.
I don't
Hot topic here, huh?
I'm just saying if you want to compare, but some people also love.
I don't think I've ever met someone who's like, Knott's Berry Farm is the best.
I know. It's just not, I don't know. There's something about Disneyland that's more, this sounds childish, but like magical and clean and I don't know, family oriented, all those things. So Knott's Berry Farm is the last couple of times we've gone has just not been great. So I think that's why. But
Okay.
I mean, you know, there's all kinds of, I like theme parks. I think a lot of people do. Some people hate it just because of the long lines.
Yeah.
But
I do think I was reading the other day about theme parks in general and how people in California specifically are big time into theme parks.
yeah, because there's a lot of them.
There's tons of them, right? But then other places throughout the country,
Yeah.
we don't really have them. And so the obsession is just not there. I
Right.
wonder if a part of your I keep calling it an obsession, and maybe that's the wrong term here to use.
It's a cult.
the cult of Disney.
The
But
adult.
it's got to be a part of it, just where you were raised,
Yeah.
and how you were exposed to it. Do you now you talked about kind of the magic of it, right? If you could if we take out the land part out of it and talk about Disney movies,
Yeah.
if you could take a Disney movie and actually be a character in one of them and like live your life in this movie, which Disney movie would you pick?
I know the answer to this. And my kids can answer this too. Alice in Wonderland.
That was a curveball. Why
Really?
Alice
What
in
would you
Wonderland?
think?
I don't know. I mean, I think of like
Rapunzel, Tangled? I could do that too.
I don't really, I suppose I don't really know what you would necessarily pick, but when I think of Disney movies, I always think of more like the princesses.
Okay.
Right? So that was a curveball. Why Alice in Wonderland?
I don't know. The movie for its time was crazy.
Yeah.
Like who created, like it was off a book, right? An
Yeah.
old book. And so it was wild, and I kind of like the weirdness of it, but I think she's so innocent and sweet and she's not a princess, and I don't know, I really love the movie. And fun fact, in Disneyland,
Oh, it's coming.
it's the one movie or the one attraction that there's two attractions based off that movie. There's the teacups and there's the Alice in Wonderland ride. There's no other. I think there might be one other, actually. No, I don't think there is. Where there's, Star Wars, if you want to count that. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Does Amy remind you of Alice, your daughter?
Kind of.
So Lindsay's daughter, Amy, she's
She's rainbows and unicorns.
she's a very beautiful, smart young lady, and I feel like she's a little Alice, you know?
Yeah, she is. But I mean, I do love Tangled. That's another favorite Disney movie, just because
Okay.
it's got humor to it.
Okay. You've mentioned how there's a bunch of Alice in Wonderland rides, different
Yeah.
like kind of, little things throughout Disneyland. Is there now Disney's known for their attention to detail. Like they always have little things thrown in here or there. Is there a hidden gem or a little known spot in Disneyland that like you specifically like? Or are you not willing to give it up because it's like that cool?
Well, there's just so much history, and I think, again, as I've gotten older, like when you're younger, you don't care about like historical things and like museums and art, and you don't care about that stuff. And I think that's why I like nerd out over like the history of Disneyland specifically, because it was his first like park. So just like something really cool, like there's a palm tree that is in between Indiana Jones and the Jungle Cruise, and it's called the Dominguez Palm. And it was there on that property. There was a home of the Dominguez family that owned, and when they went and bought all the orange groves on the property to build Disneyland, they kept the palm, and it's literally still there. So it's like stuff like that. That's really cool. And I love like learning about the history of that because it's like nostalgic, and also just like they want to preserve those things. It's like if someone were to ask me, where's one of the coolest places you've ever been? I honestly would say Boston. Like we went on a work trip, and it was one of the coolest places just for the historical factor of the United States of America. Like it's crazy, the history there and the things that we saw and learned, and it's old and it's preserved. I don't know.
So you got a thing for history. You're real.
Not really. That's what's weird is like, maybe I'm just old and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like that's where they read the Declaration of Independence for the first time. Like just seeing that with your own eyes, you're like, oh, wow, this really happened over here. Because like West Coast is like newer, right?
Yeah.
It's like you go to the East Coast, everything's old and historical and has a story. And I think that's like part of the reason why I'm like always enthralled with Disney stuff.
I like how you compared a Disney palm tree to the Constitution.
Not really compared. I'm just saying, like, it's cool, right?
Like, they're history, man. Both
it's
of them
cool. Like, I don't know. As we travel as a family now, I like to look up weird things in different places and be like, let's go see this because it's unique and different.
Yeah.
You know? Where, like, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have cared.
Right. Yeah, you just get older. You have like a different perspective on life.
Yeah.
Do you think that the moment the Dominguez palm dies, they're going to replace it with one? Or do you think
no way.
What if it has been replaced and you don't even know it?
Stop it, Morgan.
Maybe it's not the real original tree.
It is the original tree.
How do you know?
Next time you're there, which I know you're going to be because I've converted your wife, you go ask them.
Oh, they could lie about it. They could be, oh yeah, that's the Dominguez palm. You don't know.
They won't lie. But there's lots of cool things. There's all. That's just one of them.
Hold on though. You didn't answer the question though. Like, if it dies, what are they gonna do?
It's not gonna die. They like literally. I don't know.
They're gonna embalm it.
like Disney.
They're gonna like
that's a conspiracy theory in its own.
It's a tree. It's gonna die.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think a tree is gonna die?
I mean,
ever?
eventually, but I think that they like nurture it to be there forever.
You're Looney Tunes.
No, I'm serious. There's lots of things like that.
You're saying in 100 years that Dominguez palm is still going to be there.
It's like 70 years old, right?
Yeah, I mean, like people are 70 years old, but by the time they turn 85, they're dead.
I know, but people, it's true.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to make it such a controversial
we could derail
issue.
here real easy.
All right. Is there like a special family tradition, like when you go to Disneyland, what you do? You probably have like 14 of them, is my guess.
I mean, we usually ride Space Mountain first, but
is it? Well, that's just probably because the lines are the longest.
Again, this is probably why my husband's always like, we do the same things, but we like the same things. It's like when we go to Newport, we eat at the same restaurants. We usually stay around the same block. We know it's good, right? Not that I'm saying I don't want to go to Huntington Beach or Laguna, but it's kind of like this. When you go out to dinner and you spend $100 with your family at dinner and it sucked. And you're like, why did we do this? We should have just gone to Chipotle because we know it's good. Right?
Yeah.
It's like you're taking that risk, but you're like, okay, we're going to try it out. And then it just is lame. And you're like, that was terrible.
Yeah. And that's why you don't go to Knott's Berry Farm anymore.
Pretty much. Although I did take 4 girls over spring break last year and I'm like, I'm going to try it out again. And then it was just disappointing.
Again.
Talk about long lines. Their lines are ridiculous. So.
All right. Okay.
Bringing it back to the long lines.
It's been a couple minutes since we've had have had Kava. Have you felt anything in that time?
I mean, I definitely can feel like not numbness, but like tingling.
Something going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything in the noggin?
I mean, I definitely know what you're saying. Like it's like you just kind of feel like you're a little bit calm.
It's like a little.
And I didn't even like finish the whole thing, so I got a side note.
I did give you a decent amount.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave you.
So
a
I
decent
don't feel
amount.
like a wuss.
Don't feel too bad.
Okay.
No. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. How stressed, nervous, anxious are you right now?
I'm not really stressed
Great.
because that got over. So I'm good.
So
I'm good now. I could talk for hours.
So all of this is good. You're chill.
Yeah,
no
it's good,
problems.
it's good.
Okay. Well, that's great. That's great. You went from a 7 to a 0.
I mean, maybe a 1.
That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
So
7 to a 1.
just a taste test,
Yeah.
help things out a little bit.
Okay.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. When you're actually, do you want to have another one?
Sure.
Let's have another one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Let's have another one.
I'll-
You
I'm
got to
gonna-
mix that up
'Kay.
because you might want to use your finger to kind of stir it
Yeah,
up. Yeah, there you go.
Because the mud settles in the bottom. I do know this
The mud dud.
from the bowls on my counter.
That's right. Now, over the course of a night, right, Mike and I would have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these suckers,
Okay.
Now, I don't normally drink Kava at 10 in the morning, but cheers.
You don't?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
10 in the morning.
Have some water. Have some water. You doing okay over there?
Yeah. I'm going to cry it out. Okay. Did you ever see that video? That's got to be cut out. Did you? So I almost threw up. That was a huge chunk, though. Did you ever see that video of the little girl and she's like drinking something and she's, you know what I'm talking about?
I do. And her mom's like, are you okay? She's like, yes. She's like, do you
okay
like
over
it? Yes, I like it.
Okay, now I got the bulk of the bottom. Now I can really feel that.
You can feel like the tingling and stuff.
Yeah. Slight tingle at the beginning when you get the.
Yeah.
Mike will be proud.
Great job.
Okay.
I won't. By the way, this is the no pressure zone.
Yes, it is.
No, you don't have to have any more Kava if you don't want any more Kava.
I definitely can feel it in my throat now.
Okay.
It's like coated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's wild. Okay, so so we've talked a little bit about kind of your obsession with Disneyland and all of that stuff, but what it could be super crowded.
Yeah.
Right. There's tons of lines there. How do you deal with the lines while you're there?
Well,
Or do you deal with the lines when you're at Disneyland?
I feel like I have it mastered. So people always ask me, can you give me some tips and stuff, like friends and stuff that are going to Disneyland? Because they're stressed about going, and I get it. But honestly, and all the like podcasts or people, Disney influencers will say the same thing. You have to go early and rope drop and be there.
Explain rope dropping.
Yeah, let me just clear my throat here.
Yeah, no worries. So explain rope dropping.
Okay, rope dropping is a term that is when let's say the park is opening at 8, you want to arrive at 7:30. They'll let you in to Main Street, like the main entrance. And then you go to the whatever land you want to go in first, and the cast members are holding up a rope across the land. And at 8 o'clock, they come over and they say, "Welcome to Disneyland. we are now open, and they drop the rope and then people walk in. So that's why it's called rope drop. If you get there in the morning, then you can be first to ride whatever you choose, whatever direction you want to go. But you can get a lot more done in the morning because most locals sleep in. They don't go till later in the day. So that's why everybody recommends doing that. But also because we've been so often, single rider lines.
Okay. So you don't go as a group. You just go into the single rider lines and then.
Yeah. And because, like, for instance, Matterhorn has single rider, but your cart is single seats.
Oh, so it doesn't matter anyways.
If you're sitting with people, I mean, and it depends. People that have never been, you want to sit with your party, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I have it down to where we don't wait in lines, even though Mike hasn't been for a long time. We are going as a family in January. So he's
exciting.
Already stressed out, but I feel like we can maneuver it.
Okay. All right.
And nighttime too. Nighttime's a good time. So.
Okay. So what you're saying is you go early in the morning and then you stay late at night.
Well, we take a break.
Okay. You go take a nap or
I've
something at the
converted
hotel?
Alexa to that too.
Yeah.
Go take a little cat nap in the middle of the day, get up, go to dinner, and then conquer the night.
Conquer the night. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah. You can't always be at Disneyland though.
No.
You know, like you can't do that. It's impossible. So what do you do when you're not there?
Like to have an outlet.
That's a good question. Yeah. Sorry, I screwed up the whole.
No, you're good.
The whole premise there was really just like we've talked earlier about how you like to watch YouTube. Sounds like you watch a lot of Disney movies. What do you do when the day is rough and you're a Disney freak? Do you continue to do Disney stuff, or are you doing other stuff?
No, I don't do Disney stuff all the time. I know people think
it sure
that.
Seems like it.
I know. Well, we do talk about it a lot. So, we have beach cruisers. We've been riding our bikes lately. The weather's turning nice, so we go on walks. I do walk with friends. We played tennis the other night. I don't know. Living in Arizona in the winter, the weather's super nice, so going outside is a good decompressor. I don't know. We do eat out a lot. Mm-hmm. Just because we both work from home. So a lot of times we'll be like, let's just go get lunch. So that also kind of breaks up the day. But I don't really have any like hobby specifically. I think that's another thing.
You're a busy mom.
Yeah.
Like you're super
I'm
involved
a counselor.
You're a counselor for your kids.
Mental institution counselor. No. What is that? A psychiatrist? What is that?
We can go with that.
Call somebody and you need help all the time?
Like a therapist?
I'm a therapist.
Yeah.
For everybody.
A permanent therapist for your kids.
Which, not really licensed. But I don't really know. We don't really have... That's another thing as far as getting older. We moved out of state, and I had this like survey that was given to me that was like, what's your name? What hobbies do you do? What do you like to do? And this was years ago, and I remember looking at it going, I don't know. I know what I used to like to do.
Yeah.
I used to like to snowboard. I used to like to wakeboard. I used to like to skateboard. I used to like to, but I'm now in a different like phase of life that I still like those things, but you just don't do them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you move into something else that you like, or to give you an outlet.
Right.
And like Mike loves to mountain bike or loves to, run recently and those kinds of things. I've never really been a gym rat. I will go to the gym, but I got to have someone to go with. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a social talker.
So that's
we like to play games.
Yeah, yeah. When you when you're going through a particularly difficult time, whatever it might be traumatic or it might not be, right? It might just be you're just feeling like really crappy.
Yeah.
Right. What's the first thing that you run to? And do you think it's like because I know, in this world, there's a lot of stuff out there that is not good.
Yeah.
For people to like relax with or something, right? And they could create really bad habits. They could create a lot of, kind of bad situations. As far as like healthy outlets, it sounds to me like what you're saying is you spend time with your family.
Yeah.
You, kind of commiserate with your girls. You got 4 daughters,
Yes.
right? You go on bike rides, you go for a walk, you do that, right? Are those kind of your go-to when you had a particularly rough patch?
Rough patches, usually I will be in my car or something and I will call my best friend and sit in the car because it's like quiet. And again, we both work from home. So it's like, not that I can't talk in my house. It's just, I'll call her or I'll actually be at soccer practice and I'll walk while Courtney's at soccer and it's like an hour and a half and then I'll talk to her on the phone or something. I feel like that is an outlet, but because as choices that we've made, we don't drink. I know that's an outlet for people.
Yeah.
Or, whatever people have. So for me, it's not like necessarily like an item. It's more of I need to like, and same with Mike, like if he's in a place where he wants to listen because his brain is usually moving so fast. Like last night we just went for a drive and we just started talking about everything. Mm-hmm. And I think getting away, we were talking about how we wish we were back in our office because I loved my prior job because it was very social.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave me that like, and then to go home and be like, oh, okay, I can do mom now. I can go in the office and do this. And now I can. So it's just, I think it's finding something that like you can have that I guess you can brain dump or just unload and then move on. I don't know how else to describe it because as a mom, it's like hard. You have 50 million things going on. And even as a dad, you feel the pressures of supporting your family, working, all of those things. It's just different. He doesn't have to be a therapist like I do.
Yeah.
So, but everybody has something. I'm a soda drinker, so I like soda. I wish I could drink Red Bulls. Although I was at Bahama Bucks last night and they have a Red Bull. They'll put Red Bull in your Bahama Bucks. I'm like, I think I need to try that.
Why? Just
I don't know. Maybe to like.
You think Red Bulls would be more healthy than a normal soda?
No, I don't. But I'm like, I kind of want to try it to see could I get an extra couple hours in the day?
Normally people are like, oh, well, I drink a lot of soda, but I should switch to water.
I do drink water.
You're like, I'm going to switch from soda to Red Bull.
I drink a ton of water. Now, Mike, on the other hand, the only water he's getting is from his Kava. So
yeah,
he does not drink water. But it's, I don't know. I think everybody has their thing that they may go to. Some people love eating chocolate. Some people, like I said, drink at night before they go to bed. That decompresses them.
But for you, it's really like it's like talking with people.
Yeah,
like
that
just
sounds
really
kind of crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy.
Talk.
I mean, we're sitting here and you haven't stopped blabbing for an hour.
And do we have more time? Because we could talk about lots of stuff.
No, but I mean, it's what I think is really kind of fascinating about it is that, humans obviously for thousands of years, we've been social creatures. Our societies have been built up together. And it obviously shows that, when we were cavemen kind of separated off, we didn't really advance a whole lot. But then once you get a group of people together, all of a sudden you have like the Roman Empire gets built, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got all these people that they just have to get together to talk and to work things out, right? So it's not like what you're saying is particularly novel or particularly like weird, right? Everyone does it and everyone needs it, right? Even people who are slightly introverted, right? I like my wife, right? She's not a super outgoing person necessarily to strangers, right? But like she needs to talk sometimes.
Yeah.
I need to talk sometimes. I think everyone needs to talk sometimes. Yeah. It's like something that I just feel like a lot of people are kind of missing, you know?
It's true.
And I hate to be like, look, you should drink kava to help relax and chill out. When really, to me, like the kava is not necessarily the thing that helps, right? It's also, I drink kava sitting with Mike, my buddy, right? And I'm able to talk to him and decompress, right? That's what it's about. It's about that human sort of
Well, and
social.
I could see like how you talk about, like you said, the Tongans get together and they do it for hours. I could see that because it's like their decompression time.
Yeah.
And really, I don't know, stresses of life legally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah. Do you have any anything that you feel like you want to do in your life that you have not done yet?
Ooh, okay, this is getting deep.
What's on your bucket list?
Lots of things. Actually, I'm more like I want to travel places than do. There are things that I look back and I'm like, oh, I wish I would learn how to play the piano.
Sure. There's still time.
There is.
You're still young, just like that Dominguez palm. That's probably not real.
True. I think like stuff like that, but it's not like I want to go like skydive or anything. But like, I have like a bucket list of places that I want to go. More so than something I want to do necessarily. Like I don't need to run a marathon. That's cool. Like good for Mike. Good for.
I'm with you. I'm not running a marathon.
People
it's
are
not
like,
happening.
what are you doing? And you know, and he says it's like a euphoria when you finish.
Sure.
And like it's such a huge accomplishment, especially at his age. It is a huge accomplishment, and he did do it like a while ago. But that's not like something that I'm like I have to do. It's more like destinations, like places I want to see with my own eyes.
Where do you want to go?
I mean, there's always like the dumb things. Like, I've never been to Hearst Castle. I want to take like a trip and go like do the Santa Barbara stuff. Like we always do Orange County, but like go up there. But it's like I've never been to Washington D.C. I would love to take my family to Hawaii. Germany is top on my list because my family, my maiden name is Gunther, you know, Gunther. And I would love to go see Germany and like do kind of
like connect with your ancestors,
I guess.
Yeah.
But like just see it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some like even the national parks. I've never been to Yellowstone or Mount Rushmore or any of like those kind of places. Obviously, we'd all love to go see the pyramids in Egypt and like all of that, but you know, just lots of destinations.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I think like travel is the coolest thing ever. And it's very lucky if you're able to go somewhere nuts, right?
Well, and I feel like growing up, like it was hard, especially if you had like, you grew up with lots of siblings and if your family wasn't financially stable, it was hard to travel. I was lucky that my mom traveled for work. So she would take my brother and I. So like we would go to Hawaii at least once a year. We would go to like Chicago and we went to New York and we did all these like places that she would travel for work and we got to go with her. So I feel like that is a huge part. And where Mike was the Get Along Gang, hopping in the station wagon, maybe going to Pennsylvania because that's where his grandparents lived.
Yeah.
But never really traveling till like we got married. And I think he loves the travel part, hates the like expense part.
Yeah.
But also looking back, you can't take items with you. You can only take your memories. So, and building that with your family is like number one for me.
Yeah. I always think of when I was growing up, you know, at Christmas time, my parents would give me some gifts, right? I don't remember 90% of those gifts, but
don't get me started on Christmas.
Yeah. But my parents, they were like, we're going to go travel. And those are the times I remember.
Totally.
1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like as a kid, you want to wake up on Christmas morning and have a million items, but
That's
as an
what's
adult,
been indoctrinated in our brains, though,
Yeah.
from birth. Like, that's how it should be, right? That's
Yeah.
what we were shown as a kid. It's like, oh, this is what it looks like.
yeah, you got to have just this amazing
Yeah.
mountain of presents when you come down the stairs in your pajamas, right?
Right.
But that's not what as a kid, I don't really remember those times. I remember going to the Grand Canyon with my dad, right?
Yeah.
Hiking Camelback Mountain over here, right? Like I remember those types of things. I don't really remember Christmas mornings. So, but I don't know, maybe I'm weird. Do you remember Christmas mornings?
Okay. Do you have the one gift that you remember getting as a kid that you were like, yes?
Rollerblades.
Rollerblades?
It was like 1997. Oh yeah, rollerblades.
Okay.
I was out in the front yard in my pajamas rollerblading around the neighborhood.
Yes, I totally could see that. And again, just the one gift, right? Like anything else that comes to mind that you can remember? That like you got it and you're like, that's exactly what I wanted.
I don't think so.
So for me, it was the Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
But honestly, beyond that, couldn't remember anything. Because it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
What'd
It
you
really
get, a
doesn't.
pair of socks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I've really converted over to traveling over Christmas, because last year we did that cruise.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
You did a cruise for Christmas.
Literally on Christmas. Remember we
Where
were in
did you-
Mexico.
Well, yeah, but for people who don't know. what
Oh,
you're
for
talking
people who
about.
don't know, yeah. Yes, we did a 7-day cruise. It was Mexico. It was like Mexican Riviera, I think. But we were in Cabo on Christmas Eve, Mazatlan on Christmas Day, and then Puerto Vallarta the next day. It was amazing. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah. And I'll bet your kids will remember that
100%.
way more
Yeah.
than a
And we
gift.
made it Christmassy, even though it was hot. We did something really cool in Mazatlan. We had friends with us on the cruise as well. We went to orphanages, brought them soccer balls. We were giving out kids things as we were driving down the streets. It was really, really cool. Really cool experience.
Yeah. Well, those
So-
sound like some pretty chill experiences, right? Especially, you know, talking about orphanages and things, like really having the attitude of, God, I almost said a stupid, cheesy thing.
What were you going to say?
Attitude is gratitude.
Are we in Hobby Lobby now?
I don't know. I don't like that just came out of my mouth. But I mean, sincerely though, right? Like those types of experiences, they are the ones that help keep you grounded and also help you appreciate what you've got,
Right.
which I think really keeps you in a good mental state.
Yep.
Right. So, you know, I mean, it's being with your family, talking, doing things for other people. All of those are pretty healthy, pretty great ways to deal with life.
Yep.
Right? So awesome. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for drinking Kava with me.
Yeah.
I know that you maybe didn't want to.
I mean, I'll do whatever. I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for being with me and hanging out and explaining your story and your side of things. And I hope that we can maybe do this again. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we should.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Signing off from the Kalm Down podcast.
See ya.
See ya.